Road to the Bayou Classic, a Jaguar Nation special.
Southern versus Grambling, so if you can't get motivated for that, then you don't need to play.
I think Graham, we gonna kill him on our goals.
If that doesn't get you pumped up for the Bayou Classic, I don't know what will. Southern and Grambling just an hour away from kicking off the 51st annual Bayou Classic. I'm Brendan Fairbairn, happy to be joined by Reggie Flood. Just like every year, there's so much that leads up to the Bayou Classic. Reggie and I will break everything down and everything you need to know. Reggie, let's kick it off with how the Jags and Tigers got here. Southern obviously already clinched the SWAC West 2 weeks ago against Arkansas Pine Bluff, but they really had to earn it, winning 3 games in overtime, which is why they are nicknamed the Cardiac Jags. Reggie, you feel like that is a fitting name for this team?
That is a great name for this team. I cannot think of a better name for this team. They played 3 overtime games this season, been able to be victorious in all of those games, but man, do they make it hard on themselves. But it's kind of become a part of the character of this team. It's kind of become who they are, the Cardiac Cats, the Cardiac Jags, and this Bayou Classic is lining up to possibly be another late comeback or a late win for the Jags, so we'll see.
Reggie, what I noticed about Southern, when it gets into overtime, you see how pumped up they get. They get like a second win. The other teams, kind of catching their breath. They're jumping on the sidelines. I think that's what gives them a big advantage. I sat down with wide receiver Chandler Whitfield, and he explained why the Jags do have that advantage when it comes crunch time.
One thing about Coach Graves, man, every day we gonna run out the practice. And one thing Coach Graves say, he be like, man, we gonna run to win. We gonna run to win every day. And we us players, like, at first we was thinking like, man, this man crazy, like running us like this. But like now it makes sense, cause now we done been in games. And you see us like, okay, it's time to, we start saying like it's time to run the win now. Like, okay, so that gets everybody amped up. So when we get on the field, it's like, we prepared for this. Like, so we go out there and we dominate.
All right, let's take a look at Southern's marquee wins and big losses. I think the one that stands out to me the most was the Texas Southern win. I think it was more than a minute left, a safety, and then they block a punt. First play touchdown to Quay Davis. And rest is history.
I'll put block a punt in air quotes.
That is true. That is true.
It was more the punter missing the ball than it was blocking a punt. But they, like we said, they've gotten every break that they can get to get them to this point. And right now, it seems to be part of the character, but they also are a team that takes advantage of those breaks. I know Coach Graves thinks, though, I just wish we could just get off to one game where we got a fast start or where we actually started like we finished. I know that's what he wants to say to his team, but he's taking it as it comes right now, and they've been successful. They're in the Bayou Classic right now, biggest game, and then, they have the championship game lurking ahead.
That's funny you say that, because at the Bayou Classic press conference, he said a fast start is a foreign language to his team. It's like he's embracing everything that's been going on. He's combating it, but that's just who the Jags are this year. But of course, we got to talk about Grambling, or some people like to say, the team up north. The G-men cleaned house after last year's Bayou Classic loss, getting rid of Hugh Jackson and company, bringing in Mickey Joseph as head coach, and of course, 2 former Southern head coaches, Eric Dooley and Jason Rollins, as coordinators. We will dive deeper into that in a few minutes. Reggie, this Grambling team is 5-6, but most of their losses were in overtime or by just one possession. Do you think this game is going to be a lot closer than many people think?
I think it's going to be a really close game. Grambling is almost the polar opposite of Southern. Nothing has gone right for them. They've lost their quarterback at some point during the season. They've struggled on offense. the things they have in common, they have a great defense, but the defense is giving up plays when they really needed them to make plays. So they have, all the breaks seem to have gone against Grambling while the breaks have gone for Southern. And I think, leading into Bayou Classic, Grambling has to attack this game as they have nothing to lose, because they don't. They really have nothing to lose, and that's a dangerous team, especially a team that, if you look at the roster, they are extremely talented, and if Miles Crawley, their quarterback, is healthy, then you're gonna have to really look out for Grambling.
This is the biggest game for Grambling. This isn't the biggest game for Southern. No. So it's kind of two different mindsets there. Let's check out some key wins from Grambling. The ones that obviously stand out is Jackson State and Alabama State. The Tigers have proven they could hang with the best of the conference. Reggie, I gotta ask, how did Grambling beat Jackson State by 21 points?
I watched that game, and that was a Grambling team that everybody expected to be a contender for the SWAC championship at that particular time. They came out and they matched Jackson State physically. They took advantage of all of Jackson State's mistakes. The defense in particular caused turnovers and were able, I think they scored 2 defensive touchdowns in that game.
Yep.
And that was that Grambling team. We didn't see that team again for the rest of this season that we saw against Jackson State. But they came out and beat the best team in the conference so far by just coming out and meeting them physically and taking the game away from them.
Southern has to prepare for that team when they play Jackson State, not the recent ones.
Yes.
They got to prepare for Grambling's best. But when it comes down to the wire, to put it bluntly, they choke. What Southern has that Grambling lacks is that killer instinct. Here's Mickey on losing those close games.
We lost a ton of games, by 2 points, 3 points. So a victory with this game means a lot. It means that we have something to build on going into the offseason. And that's what we're preaching right now. Let's continue to fight. Let's see if we can get this one and build on something going into the offseason.
Do you think they're going to build off of this? Say if they win, do you think that's going to change anything in the near future for Grambling?
I know that's what Coach wants. I know that's his expectations. He has to have a positive attitude. He has to have his team in a mindset, hey, guys, we didn't accomplish what we wanted to do this year, but we're going to take this game and we're going to build off of it. And if they have that mindset, like I said, they're going to be real dangerous.
Reggie, of course, we have to mention one of the biggest storylines these past 2 weeks, which is the legend that is Willie Miles. The Jags defensive tackle has gone viral on social media for his thick 6 against Arkansas Pine Bluff. He appeared on ESPN and NFL Network, but Big Will has a deeper story. NBC 33's Chessa Boucher has the story.
I'm glad that the whole world is starting to see who Willie Miles is.
Baton Rouge's very own Willie Miles went viral on social media after this. The big fella with a scoop and score Southern's first defensive touchdown on the season, coming from number 93 on Senior Day.
So then right when I get to the field and I get like a good view of Willie, like I see him, he got his legs wide and his neck is almost to the ground. So I'm like, oh, Willie, I'm like, dang, bro. But then all of a sudden he popped back up and all I see is like, it took him like 3 minutes to get to the track. Man, when I tell you that made my whole day, bro. I watched that video like 20 times.
Man, that was an amazing moment. It was just a goal of mine to come and get a touchdown in college. I scored in high school and all those things, but I felt like it was going to be good to do it in college. I came out there. I knew it was my last one on the bluff, and I guess I got to go out special.
It hasn't been an easy road for senior defensive tackle Willie Miles. Despite not having a single college offer, the Scotlandville product decided to take his talents just 1 mile down the road, walking on at Southern, where he eventually earned a starting role late into his junior season.
The thing that I love about Willie is how much of a hard worker he is. You'll never hear Willie complain. You'll never hear him over there talking and chatting. He's just going to put his head down and he's going to work, especially with the situation that he's been throughout these 4 years. Man, I'm just glad to see that I was here for the ride and I seen every step of the way, all the hard work that he put in.
You got a young man that's undersized, that technically is not supposed to be able to play Division I football. A lot of people wouldn't give him a chance, a lot of people because of his size, but you're talking about a young man that comes to work every single day, makes the most of his opportunities. So when that happens, he gets that reward. And that's what it's all about. That's sweet to see a young man who's put so much in, who's battled against what they said he couldn't do, And he proved it out there that if you continue to play, when people say no, when people say you're not that guy, when you're not as sexy as you're supposed to be, if you just believe and keep doing what you're supposed to do, good things happen for you.
Covering Southern football for your Go Nation, I'm Chessa Boucher.
Thanks, Chessa. Of course, what makes the Bayou Classic so iconic is the rich history behind it. A little later, Reggie and I and a special guest will take you down memory lane and honor the former players and coaches that make the game what it is today. And up next, we take a deeper look into Graves and Joseph's first years as head coaches. Also, it's the return of Eric Dooley and Jason Rollins, two former Southern head coaches, now Grambling coordinators. Stick around, we got plenty more coming on our pregame show.